Some games are so important to PC gaming that their impact is still felt today. The landscape of PC gaming would be very different without these games, and without some of them, we might not have PC gaming at all. Sometimes the games stay the same, other times it changes completely, and when it does, we chronicle it in this series. I'm the Geeky Dad, and these are games that change the game. Now, Orwell was wrong. Hang on. I'm not saying he was incorrect about his horrendous dystopia of constant surveillance, changing the meaning of words, and hopelessness of human endeavour against an overarching regime. No, he was just wrong about when it was going to happen, because in 1984, one of the most important PC games in history was released. Elite is a space exploration game, and arguably one of the first truly open world games to grace any platform. It stands astride gaming history like a colossus. Its influence is still being felt in many games released today, some 34 years later. Elite was developed by two developers who met at Jesus College at the University of Cambridge. They were both working on separate gaming projects. Ian Bell was working on a game for Acornsoft called Freefall. David Braben was working on a game called Fighter. When they met, they both realised that their games were sufficiently similar that they decided to collaborate on a new spacefaring project. Elite was like nothing else that had come before it. It had two major innovations, the first of which was the way it looked. It was the first home computer game to use wireframe 3D graphics with hidden line removal. This technique had been used in the arcade Star Wars game the year before. Now, compared to modern graphical behemoths, these wireframe graphics look primitive, to say the least. However, much like a good storybook, the lack of detail allows the players to use their imagination to fill in the details. In 1984, this fact gave Elite a rich and expansive universe for the player to explore. Such a game simply hadn't existed to this point, and that brings us to the second major innovation. Elite had an expansive universe for the player to explore. We now call these sort of games open world games, but in 1984 that sort of thing just didn't exist. The game starts you off as a captain of a small spacefaring vessel, a Cobra Mark III, and gives you endless possibilities to earn credits. Piracy, military contacts, asteroid mining, bounty hunting, and commodity trading were all options to get monies. This money would allow the player to upgrade their ship and allow them to get more money, and so on, and so on. There was no defined path for the player to follow. Players had to create their own stories, and people loved it. Elite was one of the first titles that had what we now call emergent gameplay, and people could not get enough of it. Elite was also pioneering in other ways. Elite used procedure generation to create the 8 galaxies, each of which contained 256 planets, which was an elegant solution to the problems of the limited memory of 1984 hardware. The entire game was written in machine code to maximise the memory limitations of the BBC Micro. As such, the storing of data for each planet in the galaxy was just a non-starter. Procedural generation had been used to create games in previous years, such as the 1980s Rogue. By using procedural generation, the developers were able to create such a vast area for the player to explore. Elite sold over 600,000 units across multiple platforms. It was immensely popular and scooped many awards, including the 1984 Golden Joystick Award for Best Original Game. Not only did the game press of the time highly praise the game, it was praised by the computing community of the time. Sophie Wilson, the software engineer who designed the Acorn microcomputer and the BBC Micro itself, called Elite the game that could not have been written. Elite's impact on the gaming stratosphere can still be felt today. It's often cited as one of the most influential games in history. Senior developers at the hugely popular MMO EVE Online have credited Elite as a huge influence on their own spacefaring trading MMO. The developers of World of Warcraft and Second Life have also cited the game as inspiration. The game has spawned many homages, where people have converted the original BBC Micro code to modern object-orientated languages. The original source code was released in 1999 by the original creators. The game also spawned several sequels, some more successful than others. In 2012, a Kickstarter campaign was launched to crowdfund Elite Dangerous. Still, with the original creator David Braben involved, Elite Dangerous was successfully funded to the tune of £1.7 million. The game was released 16th of December 2014 to much critical acclaim, proof that there was a massive legacy of the original 1984 game. So, we've gone through what made Elite great, and the kind of impact it had, but what's it like to play today?
Oh man, check out the graphics.
Cool.
Load new commander.
So, once again, I am joined by my cohort Ali, and we are going to play the 1984 classic Elite. We're playing it again on an emulator. This is a JavaScript emulator of a BBC microcomputer, because I do not own a BBC microcomputer.
Can we emulate a BBC Micro with nothing more than JavaScript?
Yeah.
That's alright, carry on.
So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to play this. I've downloaded the manual onto my phone. I think we're going to need it, because it's one of those games where you had to read the whole instruction manual before you could play it. There were no in-game tutorials or anything like that.
This game is as old as we are.
Indeed, it came out in the year of our births.
It did.
So yeah, the classic BBC space training game Elite. Should we load a new commander?
Yes.
Right. What should we call our commander?
Is this commander going to be... Oh. That's fine. Commander Dick it is.
Cool.
Command a Dick.
That doesn't work. Which drive? The C drive, clearly. So press space or fire, commander. Space.
You sure that means like which disk drive and not, whether I want the faster than light drive or like the Spore drive?
Spore drive.
Goddamn Spore drive. Oh, I cannot believe
Fortunately, this game came out before that whole Star Trek shenanigans happened.
Well, obviously that's several hundred years in the future.
Yeah.
So
This predates even the Next Generation, the finest of all Star Treks.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it is, yeah. No, you're right, it is.
So, we are docked on a thing, and I am now going to find out how to leave the space station.
Present system, Lave.
Indeed.
Hyperspace system, Lave. Alright, so we're in a solar system of some description. We've got 7 light years of fuel.
Yeah, cool. So I think if I press this button, yeah.
Alright, what button was that?
So that was the F5, it's brought up the star map.
Alright.
And then we're going to choose somewhere to go.
Okay,
Where'd you like the look of?
I reckon, presumably the circle shows us our fuel range.
I'm guessing so.
I would go for the closest system, DSO.
DSO. I'm not sure what I need to press next. What do I need to press next? Yeah, it's 3.6 light years away, which is...
That's over half of our fuel.
Yeah, well, we better refuel when we get there then.
Alright, well, it better have a refueling station or, we're in a lot of trouble. We're going to be lost in space and in a way that's far less cool than Matt LeBlanc was.
Was Matt LeBlanc ever cool?
Well, he was in a really, really terrible remake of Lost in Space. That was, yeah.
They're bringing that on Netflix, aren't they? Lost in Space.
They're going to remake it, yeah. They're going to do like a series. Apparently it's going to not suck as hard as Matt LeBlanc's.
Well, the best thing about that was the Apollo 440 song.
Yeah, that was actually, wow, well remembered. That was a really good tune. I'd completely forgotten that even existed until you said that.
You know that the movie's bad when it's been saved by a mid-level 90s punk dance band crossover band thing.
Punk dance crossover? Is that a thing?
Well, I don't know. Anyway, we've blabbered on a lot, but we still don't know how to get a disso. I'm going to press the F1 key, because it says I shouldn't do that.
You should not do that.
Okay.
That looks like some sort of trading.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. 0. 0.
Yeah.
0 radioactives.
Ah, this could go on. Narcotics. Oh, how much of those can we get?
I don't know. I don't know how much money we've got.
Probably not.
There's 14 tons of it for sale.
Yeah. I feel like we should, we're going to kick ourselves if we really want to smoke when we get to, that other planet.
Alright, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to say nothing for everything. Okay, we've got 100 credits.
Alright, sweet. How much is 14 tons of narcotics?
Oh, let's go back to... right, we don't want any food.
Yeah.
Nuts to food. Nuts to textiles. Nuts to radioactives. Nuts to...
Slaves?
We don't want any slaves.
No, we don't. We've got
We're not Qataris.
They're going to be space slaves, though.
So does that make slavery acceptable?
They probably don't have enough neurons to construct a functioning brain. Because, they're made of, slime or something.
Whatever you need to tell yourself to sleep at night. Narcotics.
It's a galaxy far, far away.
We can get 2 tons of narcotics.
Is that going to be enough?
How much narcotics do you need for a 3.6 light year trip?
That's a long way.
It is.
I'm just saying it's a long way. If
well,
let's just get something more sensible, that's fine.
Oh no, let's get the narcotics. Cool, we only have 0.8 credits remaining.
I feel like that was, like a impulse buy that we're going to regret quite quickly, but as long as we've got to smoke. Cool.
So look, we've got 2 tons of narcotics on board.
So we've not actually left our home base yet, and we are already smuggling drugs.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, we're trying to get to Disso. And hit F7.
That's the market again.
Just give me all the prices. I don't want to do that.
It's going to be one of these F buttons.
Yeah.
Do you want to just hit some F buttons?
Well, I'm going to hit F6 and see what that does.
That tells us about DISO or DISO, however you...
It's a democratic tech level 8 planet.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's got black furry felines on it.
It's pretty earthy. Sounds pretty... oh no, that's the main species is black furry felines. Yeah. Oh, right. It's a bit weird.
Do you think they want some narcotics?
Yeah. I reckon. I mean, if they're anything like Cat out of Red Dwarf, hang on, I'm trying to think of an instance where Cat from Red Dwarf uses narcotics. Let's just assume that he does and they cut it out, because it's on the BBC.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure they use narcotics in the book, if that helps.
GDP, 13,120 million credits.
But for 4.1 billion felines, is that a good GDP?
I don't really know.
Space economist.
I mean, I don't know what you can buy for 1 million credits. How many credits did it cost us for 2 tons of narcotics?
100 credits.
100. Okay. Feels like a low GDP then. Yeah. Feels low.
I still haven't worked out how we leave the space station.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty much just talking shit until you work out which of the F buttons to press.
This is Commander Jameson.
Right. He too, coincidentally, is in Larvae and is docked with 7 light years worth of food.
But he hasn't got 2 tons of narcotics, so let's sort that right out.
Yeah. This guy needs to buy some narcotics.
No food, no textiles, no radioactives, no liquors, no luxuries. 2 tons of narcotics, please. No alloys, no furs, no minerals, no gold, no platinum, no gemstones. Right.
Did you ever play that game where you were a drug dealer, right? But it was text-based, and it was like you just were in a city, and it's like buy some stuff, and then move to another city, and then try and make, sell.
Dope Wars.
Dope Wars, yeah. Yeah, Dope Wars, yeah.
I remember playing that at school, on school machines.
D4? Well, where's that?
On the system. Blah, blah, blah. How do I... Leaving the space station.
Nice.
F0? I don't have an F0.
That's not a thing!
So we now know how to leave the space station.
Are you naming the commander, or is that just an expression of frustration?
No, I'm naming the commander. So, let's buy the narcotics. Oh, shit, I think something went wrong there.
You trying to buy enriched uranium again?
I think I tried to buy too much And I've gone right past the narcotics.
It's fine. We don't need the narcotics. I can make it to DSO without having a smoke. We'll get some when we get there.
I don't even know you right now. I think I might have just bought 9 tons of textiles.
Okay, all right. I mean, we can. It's not. Yeah, it's not hugely lucrative. Yeah, all right.
I think that means I can't buy any more narcotics because I don't want the money.
We can't. What? I can't even. Oh my Jesus! They're not made of hemp, are they?
I don't know. It just says textiles. F10. You said.
Yeah.
Help section. F10.
You're gonna want to be on the actual, leaving the space station.
Oh shit!
Oh my God.
We left the space station.
Oh shit! We're travelling. We're at warp.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called in this.
Right. So that was your wing, wasn't it? Was that your wing?
Do you need to control it while it's actually flying? Or do you not just leave it? No, I think, it's like, look, that must be our... Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, yeah, so... There we go. Move away from the space station.
Oh. Oh, this is super confusing. Well, why doesn't it just go where you point... Why doesn't it just go to DSO?
Whoa, what's that?
Oh, that must be the...
That's something.
Yes, it is.
Right, so... here we go. And I can... Yeah.
Oh, I have no idea what's happening here.
Okay, I've increased the speed. 7 decreases the speed.
Are we travelling in the right direction?
Question mark decreases the speed.
What's this down here? The upside down... Well, the number 1 that's on the on our map.
I don't know. Let's investigate.
I'm guessing that's our waypoint. All right, it's showing you. So how long it is how far away you are on the plane, and where it is left to right is whether or not you're pointing at the right thing. So you want to be having it, like that, and then a little bit to the right.
These controls are confusing.
So this is our destination here, I think.
Right.
That thing.
So let's increase the speed.
Yep.
Full speed, Captain.
Remember that this journey was going to take over half of our fuel, and that was if we went directly to our destination.
I'm not sure what that is.
I think that's our destination.
I'm going to decrease the speed.
You just got to get inside the. How many sides has that got? Dodeca.
Oh, if it's a dodecahedron.
It's 4 plus. Man. Yeah, 4 plus 8. It's 12. It's a dodecahedron.
Right, I'm getting quite close. That's quite close indeed. I think I've crashed into it.
Well, you want to be inside it. Don't. Where's the goddamn planet? Oh, game over. I'm not really sure. What?
Well, we crashed into the dodecahedron.
Oh, so that was the planet.
I think that was the space station. I think the big circle thing was the planet.
Man, this is hard.
It is hard.
How did we play this at primary school? This is ridiculous.
Well, I seem to remember mostly playing the Oregon Trail.
I played Granny's Garden.
Granny's Garden!
And also the one with the pigeons. What was that?
What was the one with the pigeons?
You never played the one with the pigeons?
I don't know. No, what happened with the game with the pigeons?
It was like pigeon racing.
Pigeon racing?
Or possibly pigeon fancying. Oh man, I was going to say I can remember it so vividly. I really can't at all. The opposite of that. I can remember vaguely a couple of screens, like blue background, face of a pigeon, really bad, 8-bit art sort of stuff. Is it 8-bit art? Is that even a thing? Talking shit. It's full of pigeons though. Lots of pigeons. It'll come to me. It'll come to me when I Google it.
Right, so we want to go there. So if I press F10 and wait, then I'll find out how to jump to hyperspace.
By the way, that noise sounds like the start of a System of a Down song. Oh, he's used the word dodecahedral. Yeah, no, he knows what he's talking about.
So, inventory. And then I quit.
Cool. It's fine. I feel like we're going to be able to get back to that game state pretty easily. First of all, because we saved it. But second of all, because we hadn't actually done anything except for buy 2 tons of narcotics. Right. And then just bring that up again. Just I feel like we should remember the other ones because we're going to need to know. Break is actually F12. Copy is end. Okay. Copy is end. Break F12.
Yeah, and they haven't controlled.
It just says to do. Alright, that's reassuring. Let's hope that we don't need that.
Right.